In the wake of Charlie Kirk's death, a lot of people seem to be coming to terms with the fact that the friends in their lives, maybe even their own family, aren't exactly who they thought they were. They weren't the kind of people that they knew that they could rely on, that if things got difficult or scary in their own lives, that they would have their back, because these people have turned around and are celebrating the execution of someone simply for what they've said, simply for the fact that they disagreed with this person. The people who are making fun of this guy for his death, calling for the rest of his family to be killed too, these people who celebrate his death are not just crazy fringe freaks. They're ordinary people, seemingly ordinary people, teachers, entertainers, and our friends and family. Normal people in society that we thought were at their core basically good. Even though we might have different beliefs, different views, we thought they weren't really, a threat to our existence. But what this, I think a lot of people are experiencing is coming face to face with this reality that a lot of people around us, a lot of people in our own lives even, are actually showing themselves to be a potential threat to our physical well-being, our actual existence. And this is something that's really, really hard to deal with. Because when your own friends are championing someone being killed for having different beliefs, someone being killed for saying things that they don't like, or even going so far as to say that the rest of his family should be killed too. A lot of us now are sort of being shook on a deep level of seeing that these people are not our allies, are not our friends. Because that's really what a friend should be, is someone who has your back. Even if they have different views, if you disagree on a lot of things, that shouldn't really matter. At the core of a friend is someone who's got your back. But if that had been you who had gotten killed, that was you who had been shot for having different beliefs, would they be celebrating? That's a question a lot of us are asking ourselves right now. Would our friends be cheering if we got killed? Or maybe more to the point, if a revolution began tomorrow, would our friends be there beside us or on the other side of the barricade? Now, what it is that we're coming face to face with is a kind of hatred of humanity that is showing its ugly face. The mask has slipped off. For decades and decades, or arguably centuries, the face of the hatred of humanity has always been covered by a mask of good intentions. Of, oh no, it's not a hatred of humanity, it's a protection of the environment, or it's a protection of the poor, or whatever. There's always been some sort of veil in front. But nowadays, what people call the radical left, or the radical nihilists, or whatever, these are the people who, they're not wearing that mask anymore. They're not really hiding behind anything anymore. They hate existence. They hate themselves, and they hate you. And they are openly cheering for death. When all those Jews were attacked over in Israel, I can't remember what day it was, but it was some big attack where a bunch of people went over there and raped and murdered totally defenseless civilians in the name of their religion, in the name of exterminating all the Jews. People were celebrating. It's the same thing. This is exactly the same thing. It's the same mentality, the same attitude. Something I have experienced quite a lot in life is I've observed that a lot of people don't really want to believe that someone is no good. Whether it's, they're a rotten person deep down, or if they really are a wicked kind of person and they relish people being killed. And I've experienced it by hearing a lot of people sort of excuse what people say. I've heard countless times people say that, oh, humanity is a plague on the planet. Well, I mean, what does that tell you about what that person believes about what should be done about that? I mean, is a plague a good thing? No. But like, a plague is something you burn out with fire. A plague is a bad thing that you want to destroy, you want to get rid of. And if they're saying humanity is a plague, they're pretty much telling you that humanity should be exterminated. And most people will say, oh, no, they didn't really mean that. They didn't really mean that. But no, they said it. They said that. In many other ways, too, when it's not about a more grand belief, like, humanity is a plague on the planet, it can show up when someone, says something mean to somebody, says something rude, says something really dismissive of their feelings or something. And people will tend to excuse that. Oh, no, he was just stressed. He was just angry. He was not being himself or whatever. But something I've learned is let people tell you who they are. Let them speak for themselves. If they're going to treat you poorly on an individual basis, if they're going to call you names, if they're going to be dismissive of what you feel, if they're going to not respect you, let that tell you what kind of person they are. And the same thing goes on an ideological sense. When people are celebrating people being killed, when people say humanity is a plague on the planet, when people say that people are all idiots and we need the government to run everything for us because people don't know how to live their lives, let that tell you what it is that they believe and what it is that they are in favor of. And I think a lot of people are coming to bear with this fact about people, this ugly rage and hatred in people, just because it's just so clear now. It's so clear. But for a long time, we've been seeing this kind of ugly hatred and rage in people, but it was always dismissed of, oh, they don't really mean it, or, oh, they're just young, they'll grow up. And so when you're hearing your friends talk this way, when you're hearing the people in your life who are saying things that make you at a existential level uncomfortable, if you feel like they're not on your side in terms of life, listen to that part of yourself. Listen to that part of yourself that's not comfortable, that's scared. I've had to deal with this many times, unfortunately, with people in my life. It's not just a disagreement, but like, this person, if it came down to it, would be on the other side that wanted to kill you. That's a scary feeling. But listen to that in yourself. It's okay to not be with people, to not spend time with friends, with people that you feel are a threat to you. That if it came down to it, are not, wouldn't be there for you, would not be at your side, but rather holding a gun pointed at you. That's no longer a question of agreement or disagreement. That's a question of, is this person a threat to me? Because agreement and disagreement is not a threat, which is funny because that's what a lot of people have been taught today, is that speech is violence, which is, well, what leads to people being killed for what they're saying, No, I'm not saying to go be mean about it, or you don't even really need to explain yourself, but just be sure that you're checking in with how you're feeling about, do I really feel comfortable spending time with these people? Allow yourself to reevaluate those friendships, those relationships, maybe even your own family members. It might be time to start creating some distance between you and them. Who you spend time with can really affect how you feel about yourself and about your life in general. And if there are people in your life who are making you feel uncomfortable in this way, you'll probably find that you'll feel a lot better in general in ways you probably wouldn't have predicted by not spending time with people who are like that, people who make you uncomfortable in that way, people who are celebrating murder. Well, I hope this is something that you got something out of. I hope you enjoyed it. If you liked it, leave a like. And if you haven't heard, I came out with a guide that you can download that is all about helping you text women, because that can be really difficult, really anxiety-inducing. You can overthink every single text that you write. It can be hard to text women in a dating situation, especially when you're just meeting her. So I came out with a free guide that you can download on my website, link in the description. Just check it out and let me know what you think of it, if you do. Well, I hope you have a great day, and hope to see you next time. Thanks for watching.